Hello and welcome to a new video here on the channel. Now, what is this all about? A mysterious survey? Yes, a few months ago I teamed up with two awesome content creators from the Scale 500 community, henryxairport and Norden.Airport. And why did we do that? Well, because we, and I'm sure just like you guys, are a bit frustrated with where we are with Scale 500 at the moment. And we want to try to see if we can't find some companies that perhaps at some point will join into this awesome community and start offering us some really nice models. But we want to go from the point where collectors are going to various manufacturers and asking them and saying, well, I like this model and I like that model. We want to make it more data-driven so that potential manufacturers in the future can understand what the Scale 500 community actually wants to see when it comes to model creation. So for that, we created this survey, which many of you guys have participated in, and a huge thanks for that. Now, we have spent quite some time looking at the data. We have spent quite some time trying to reach out to various companies. And in this video, we want to present you where we are at the moment with this long-term project. That means we want to show you some of the data, and you can find the full survey results in a link that you can find in the video description below. From there, you can download the PDF file with the full survey results. And then we will, of course, also get into who have we talked with and what has the response been so far. But with no further ado, I will now hand over to henryxairport, who will give us some of the highlights from the survey so far.
Hi guys, it's henryxairport, and let's take a closer look at the results. All right, so let's start off by looking at who we asked. And so here we see that when we asked the ages of the respondents, we see that mostly they're younger collectors. And so that's something to keep in mind with the results. However, that being said, most of them are quite long-standing collectors. So they've been collecting for a long time. Around 50% have been collecting for over 10 years now. So we are reaching sort of hardcore collectors who are very invested in Scale 500. Then it's also worthwhile to look at what region the respondents are coming from. And so in this case, probably no surprise is that Europe is the most common region, so about 75%, with then Asia and North America following suit. And I think this reflects quite nicely onto the next graph. So we asked which regions do collectors primarily collect the models from. And so no surprise here, Europe is the most common answer, followed by North America and Asia. And so now that we know a little bit more about who we asked, let's go on to the results of the survey. And so we split the survey into 4 different topics, and the first of which was narrow bodies and wide bodies. And the question that we posed was, how important is it that there is sort of a good balance or a healthy balance between narrow body and wide body releases for a given airline? And so looking at the data, we can see that it's for most collectors, probably around 60%, maybe 65%, it's either important or very important. And so that is something that collectors identified as being important to them. Then we also asked, how do you feel about the amount of each type of release over the past few years, pertaining to the amount of narrow bodies and wide body releases that we've had over the years? And so as it relates to narrow bodies, it seems that the most common answer was there's slightly too little narrow bodies. However, there is still quite a large proportion of people saying about right. But I guess the conclusion that we could draw here is that there is sort of this bubbling demand maybe for a little bit more narrow bodies going into the future. Then turning to the wide bodies, here it seems the distribution here is a little bit more equal. So it's about right, I guess we would say. So most collectors are quite happy with the amount of wide body releases we are getting. And so then we also talked about different types of releases. So this is cargo, government jets, military, and so on. And so here I think the most important finding is the cargo freighters. And we find that there's quite a few collectors who feel there's slightly too little of these releases being currently made. And we also see that the interest in the cargo freighters or cargo releases is very high. I think for everything else, it's a little bit 50-50. So it's very specific on the individual collector. Then the third area, or the third topic that we talked about, was regional diversity, and so different regions. And so here we asked which areas or regions were kind of underrepresented in the current Scale 500 product offering. And here we see that most people feel that Africa and South America, or Latin America and the Caribbean, are generally underrepresented, as well as Oceania as well. Well, then another finding related to this is that we found that collectors generally do collect models from these underrepresented regions. So we find that about 60%, so 2/3 of collectors are actually collecting from these regions that they feel are underrepresented. And then the final topic we wanted to learn about was the standard and special liveries. And so here we posed a very simple question. Which livery would you prefer that Herpa releases first? And so here the overwhelming majority of collectors stated that they would like the standard livery to be given precedence. Of course, within reason. Of course, sometimes Herpa has to release, for example, the special livery if the airline so requests. And so those were the key findings of our survey. If you'd like to know the full survey results, you can find the link in the description below.
So hello everyone, here is Norden.Airport. So with our survey, we wanted to figure out what our collector needs, what they want as new models in 1 to 500 scale to understand better the scale. So we did that survey, we asked you to complete it, but we of course did something with it. And with that, we decided to contact every single possible manufacturer to share the results with them. Our goal was for them to have a better understanding of the demand and what the collector are wanting in the scale. So we decided to contact both Scale 500 but also Scale 400 companies. Maybe we have some hope that they can have a closer look at our community and see that there is a high interest in models. So we contacted Herpa as well as NG Models, Sky 500, Starjets, and GC Wings. Some companies did not answer or haven't answered yet. What we can say is that NG Models said that the data were precious for them, that they will be using that for 1 to 400 scale, but definitely the message was clear here. They don't see an interest in 1 to 500 scales, and their advice is simply to switch to Scale 400. We also asked Herpa, and on their side, they said that they were really grateful for us to make that job, that they were looking at it. They said that they will give us a more developed answer, but we haven't got anything from their side. But at least we know that they take the time to read the survey results. So we contact these manufacturers, but we also contacted some others. We contacted C models and altitude models, which are quite new brands in the 1 to 400 market. We haven't got answers from that yet, but we hope to get an answer. Also about Sky 500, we are quite pessimistic because their website is now down. It seems like they ceased business. So we can say that for now, the only company working in 1 to 500 scale are Herpa mainly, and sometimes GC Wings. Also, if you are interested maybe in starting a new company, a new business in the 1 to 500 scale model, I think every single collector will be happy to see someone new with new models, new things, and we will be very happy to provide you even more data, maybe do another survey. So we'll be very happy to help you in that process. So feel free to contact us.
All right, so obviously this is a long-term project. It's not something that is giving us a result tomorrow. It's not something that is going to change the Scale 500 community tomorrow, but we hope that this is something that can contribute to a positive change for Scale 500 in the future. So please do stay tuned because we will try to follow up on this.
So of course these results were presented to you today, but you can still find the link of the survey in the description below. Feel free to, if you haven't done it yet, to answer the questions, share it with some friends who haven't participated yet. The more data we get, the more we can improve the scale.
So that is all we have for today. My personal thanks to Norden and HenryX for their big contribution to this project. Without them, this would not have been possible. I'm just the pretty face of this campaign. Guys, again, if you haven't filled out the survey, you can still do so. If you want to see the results so far, you can do that as well. You find the links down below. Thank you, Norden. Thank you, HenryX, for your time here. And let's see what comes out of this in the future. So with that, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to leave a like. And if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.